Tim Cofield, and this is... In this episode, we are talking to George Dawnay. He moved to Chattanooga roughly 4 years ago, originally from London, England. And George, thank you for making time in your busy schedule.
It's my absolute pleasure.
You moved your family here like about 4 years ago?
4 years ago, yeah.
Why Chattanooga?
Chattanooga is a city having a renaissance. It's going in the right direction, and I'm really happy to be here.
You have a series that's called The Unreal City.
Yeah.
You know, when I first met you, George,
right.
The way you came off, like so flippant and so, like I was like, there's no way this guy is making this art. I had to like go to your studio and watch. You would take a blank canvas and like make it look like something in 3 hours. I thought those would have taken you days, and I watched you do it in like 2 or 3 hours.
There's a lot of practice, but once you get into the speed of the thing, you rely very much on your instincts.
I'm really interested in the story that you told me a couple months ago. There was a time where you were about to give up, and then you started seeing the shapes. Tell me.
It sounds a bit crazy. When you say it to me like that, it does sound a bit weird. The way that I work is you're relying very much on your experience, your learning and your training. But there comes a point when you have to sort of step away from the rigid laws of what you've learned and break rules. And with my work, yes, it's very much a part of relying on instincts that you've honed through, okay, to be crass, I guess like a ninja, you know. You know, it's like they spend all that time hitting the wall with one hand until they can just do it very quickly. And that's why I work so fast, is so that I'm relying completely on my instincts that I've learned through years of doing very boring, repetitive drawings, work, whatever, looking at nature. Yeah.
How long had you been painting?
Before I had the breakthrough, I would say it had been about 10 years.
10 years.
10 years of doing very, all right work. I would say it was quite pedestrian. It was okay. I've been very lucky to be able to support myself with my work.
But then just something clicked.
But then it clicked, and it was a great moment. It wasn't an immediate thing, but it was. And then one day I thought, wait a minute, there's something I'm doing here that's beyond what I thought I was going to be able to do.
It's crazy. You were at the point where you're just like, fuck it, I'm throwing in the towel. And then that was the moment that like something was like,
well, yeah, also 10 years ago, or 10, 15 years ago, I was at a point in my life where if I didn't carry on doing what I'm doing, then I would have to immediately, I'd have to come up with some other idea, because at that age, it's make or break. So, yeah.
I love that story, dude. I love it. You told me the story like a while ago of how you had just about given up. Do you remember about how many years that you've been painting when that happened? Professionally,
I've been doing it about 10 years at that point. And I started seeing the shapes.
You started seeing the shapes.
There comes a moment, for me, I don't know about other people, the way that I paint or the way that I, draw or whatever, you see my work, right? Yeah, there's a moment when you see it and you just see it. But I couldn't see it for a long time. And I had to believe that I was going to be able to see it. But I studied with many artists, and I did do a stint in Florence, at the Florence Academy of Art. But I was there for 4 years, but I would not say that that was my training right there. I didn't learn anything until I left. Yeah.
But before that, what about when your childhood?
Well, my mother's an artist. My father is in the army, and all my siblings are artists, bar one, who's a lawyer, the black sheep of the family, if you will. And yeah, my mother taught us from an early age to draw and paint, and we always watched her painting and drawing. She was painting murals and doing a lot of portraits and whatever, and so it didn't seem so strange to do that for a living.
Was your dad very like militant when you were growing up?
No, my father was the complete opposite of what you would expect an army officer to be like. Yeah, he was not very. He's very. He was charmingly disorganized.
No kidding.
And, yeah.
But that meant you moved around a lot?
We did. We moved around a lot. We lived in America, Germany, Africa, we spent some time in Zimbabwe, which was fascinating. You know, and all over England. And I was in Italy for 6 years, and in a very medieval town, looking at a lot of medieval art, Gothic, whatever, Renaissance, and there was a lot of influence from that.
You moved your family here like about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah.
Why Chattanooga?
My wife's from Chattanooga.
You've seen the development even in I've been here 12 years.
Yes.
You've been here 4 years.
Right.
What's your take on it?
I mean, I think this city's very confident and very ambitious. Yeah, there you go. This is a very ambitious city, Chattanooga.
I want to dive a little bit deeper because I've never really talked to you much about like Unreal City. How did you come up with it? What hit you that you started doing it?
I had a world that I was creating already going on, and it was becoming like an entity, if you will. This is in a lot of drawings and paintings and ideas, and I wanted to create a world, a matrix, if you will, a place for these paintings to be a part of. And the Unreal City actually comes from, this is going to sound a little bit effete, but it comes from a poem by Baudelaire, in which he talks about the city, and really it's talking about the city of Paris in the 19th century. The city of Paris was totally rebuilt. Victor Hugo wrote a lot of stuff about it. And you know, it's kind of interesting about Chattanooga because also going through that same sort of rebuilding progress. Anyway, Baudelaire talking to Victor Hugo about this city and what they were losing in the rebuilding of it. And he talks about these parts of Paris that don't exist anymore that are, you know, it's interesting. The kind of people you would meet there. Spectres, he called them. It's a fascinating poem.
It's a spectre.
It comes from the fleur de mal, the flowers of the bad, of the evil flowers. Baudelaire, it's brilliant.
Sometimes you post videos of you doing time lapses of you painting.
Right.
And you record little jangles. And put it with it, right? Sometimes I can't tell what's your jangle and what's like something you downloaded.
Oh no, it's always
It's
jangle.
always your jangle.
Always my jangle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like I want to be an artist, but I don't even know where to.
Just be practicing. You'll practice all the time. Just keep practicing. There's so many people out there. There's so much talent out there, and the reason why they're good is because they practice. If you don't practice, you will not be any good. There's no such thing as just walking into it. You have to practice. It's difficult in this world today. I mean, I think it was easier in the past. I think it's really difficult for young people to, you know, make their mark in the art world. Are you going to be doing quick edits?
Huh?
No, like you do it like that, and there's a film, and I'm sitting in this chair, and then the next shot I'm sitting in that chair, and you're sitting in this chair. Then we swap jackets.